Chapter 1. Intro. Cheers. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to show you how I set up my LED strip with my smart home system. This project has been on my list for quite a while, and I'm really excited to finally share it with you. Here we have the stars of today's show. Well, technically there are more than two, but I decided to keep things simple and only feature two of them. Why? Because I don't really like crowds. In this video, I'll walk you through what I used, how I wired everything, and how I integrated it into Home Assistant. By the end, you'll see not just a bunch of blinking lights, but a setup that is both smart and practical, at least in my opinion. Chapter 2. Disclaimer. This has become a bit of a tradition, so let's get it out of the way. This video is not sponsored. No one sent me free gear, no brands are paying me to say nice things, and there's no hidden agenda here. Every single item you'll see, I bought with my own money, either on Amazon or AliExpress. To make things easier, I'll drop links in the description to all the items I used. Now a quick but important note about electricity. I'm not an electrician. I do have some basic knowledge in this area, probably a little more than the average person, but I'm still not a professional. So, please always consider consulting or even hiring a licensed electrician for any work involving electricity. One more thing. Before you start working on your home's electrical system, always switch off the circuit at the fuse box. Safety first. Chapter 3. LED Light Strip. This is the most important piece of the puzzle. There are so many types of LEDs with different features and voltages that it can feel overwhelming. The key is, before buying anything else, decide which type of LED strip you want to use first. That choice determines the rest of the equipment because everything has to be compatible. For my project, I went with a 24 volts FCOB RGB plus CCT high density LED light strip. Now, what does all that mean? Let's break it down. FCOB stands for flip chip on board. Unlike traditional LED strip, where you can see each little LED as a dot, FCOB technology places the LEDs so close together under a continuous phosphor coating that the light looks perfectly smooth and dot-free. The result is a beautiful, even glow without the Christmas light effect, even if the strip is visible. RGB. Obviously red, green, and blue LEDs that mix together to create millions of colors. CCT, correlated color temperature, which basically means you also get adjustable white light. This gives you both warm white and cool white, plus everything in between. Put together, FCOB RGB plus CCT strips can do both full color effects and tunable white light, with the added bonus of a super smooth, dotless finish. Here are the parameters I had to keep in mind when choosing the rest of the gear. RGB CCT requires a matching controller and compatible extension wires. DC 24 volts. Make sure the controller and power supply match. 12 millimeters determines which LED aluminum profiles will properly fit the strip. Once you nail down these details, the rest of the setup becomes much easier. Chapter 4. Controller. There are plenty of smart controllers on the market. Knowing the parameters of my LED strip, I needed a controller that works with 24 volts, can handle RGB plus warm and cool white, and communicates via ZigBee. I decided to buy the Glidopto ZigBee 3.0 Pro Plus, model GLC202P. This is a universal controller that supports 3 different kinds of LED strip lights, including RGB CCT. It works with both 12 and 24 volts, runs on ZigBee 3.0, and even comes with a quick connect port for power and LED strips, which makes wiring much easier. Chapter 5. Power supply. This piece of equipment can be found under a few different names: power supply, transformer, or LED driver. It comes in a variety of output voltages, current ratings, and power levels. To power my LED strip and controller, I needed a power supply that delivers 24 volts DC. Another important factor for me was having a grounded transformer for safety. I went with the Nugi LED power adapter 24 volts 100 watts. Chapter 6. Wires and Profiles. To connect the LED strip to the controller, I had to buy LED extension wires. Since my LED strip is RGB CCT, it uses 3 pins for colors: red, green, and blue, 2 pins for cold and warm white, white and yellow, 1 positive wire, black. So, I needed to buy a 6-pin extension wire. In addition, I purchased a 2-wire cable for 24 volts DC to connect the controller to the power supply. The LED strip should be installed in aluminum profiles. These profiles offer several advantages. They act as a heat sink, drawing heat away from the LEDs. They hide the LED strips, keeping everything neat and tidy. The profile covers often work as diffusers, helping the emitted light spread evenly and smoothly. There is a wide selection of aluminum profiles to choose from, varying in size, shape, color, and cover type. Since my LED strip is 12 mm wide, I chose a V-shaped LED aluminum channel with a milky white diffuser, designed specifically for 12 mm strips. Chapter 7. Extras. As an addition, I bought a Mo's ZigBee smart light switch module. This was optional, but I stuck to my original idea for how I wanted this LED project to work. I'll explain what's behind all of this later in the video. Chapter 8. Physical installation. This is probably the most time-consuming part, and at the same time the most tedious but absolutely necessary. So, let's jump in. Step 1. Installing the LEDs. This may sound obvious, but I'll mention it anyway. Start by measuring the area where you plan to install your LEDs. Cut the LED aluminum profiles to size, along with their covers, and mount them in place. Next, cut the LED strip to the correct length. Be sure to cut only at the designated points, otherwise the strip won't work. Also, make sure you connect the correct end of the LED strip to the power. If it's wired the wrong way, it simply won't light up. Once you have the correct length, carefully place the LED strip inside the aluminum profiles you prepared earlier. Everything should fit snugly, with the diffuser covers in place to create a smooth, even light. If you need to extend your LED strip with wires or join another strip, the best method is soldering. If you don't have a soldering iron, use purpose-made LED strip connectors. Be sure to buy a connector that matches your strip type and number of pins. Step 2. Building the LED control HQ. Since my LEDs are mounted just a few centimeters above the floor, and all the control and power equipment had to fit under the wardrobe, I installed everything on an old wooden shelf. For extra safety, I recommend fixing all components onto wood or plastic and housing them inside a cable tidy box. Begin with the main components, secure the power supply, and LED controller, then connect them using a 2-wire cable. With DC, polarity is crucial. One wire goes to plus, and the other to minus. At this stage, you could wire the controller directly to the LEDs and connect the power supply to the mains. However, this would keep the power supply running 24/7, even when the LEDs are off. To avoid that, install a smart switch module between the power supply and the mains. And this is exactly where my Mo's module came in. It acts as the master switch for the entire LED system, ensuring that both the transformer and controller are powered only when needed. Refer to the wiring diagram for a clear visual guide. Here is the wiring breakdown. The ground wire from the power cable goes directly to the ground terminal on the transformer. The neutral wire runs to N on the transformer, and also to N on the smart module. The live wire is connected to both L and L1. Since L has two terminals, one is used for the live input and the other to bridge to L1. Finally, the live output from the smart switch module connects to L on the transformer. The only in-use terminal on the smart switch module is S1, which is designed for an optional physical wall switch. Make sure to secure all wires neatly to keep the installation safe and tidy. Step 3. Connecting the LEDs. Now it's time to connect the LED strip to the controller. This step is straightforward, as all the terminals on both the controller and the LED strip are clearly labeled. W for warm white, yellow wire. C for cool white, white wire. B for blue, G for green, R for red, and V plus for positive, black wire. Once everything is wired, carefully double-check each connection to ensure nothing is misplaced before powering up. Chapter 9. Home Assistant Setup. After confirming all connections are correct, it's time to make some smart magic happen. Power on the LED Control HQ. Step 1. Pair devices. Open the ZigBee 2 MQTT integration and put your hub into pairing mode by clicking Permit Join. Let's begin with the first device in the chain, the Smart Switch module. Most ZigBee devices enter pairing mode automatically when first powered on. But if yours is being stubborn, you may need to reset it. For most Smart Switch module, press and hold the reset button until you hear a continuous beeping sound. Within a few seconds, your new ZigBee switch should appear in the device list. Give it a clear, descriptive name that will be useful later. Remember to enable Update Home Assistant Entity ID before saving, so the new name syncs across your smart home setup. Open your newly added device and switch it on. Make sure your gateway is still in pairing mode. If the LED controller doesn't enter pairing mode automatically, you'll need to help it along. For Glidopto LED controller, press and hold the reset button for about 5 seconds until the connected LEDs begin blinking. Within a few seconds, your controller should also appear in the device list. If any of your newly added ZigBee devices in Home Assistant initially show up as offline, don't worry. This is often just a display glitch in ZigBee 2 MQTT. The device is usually connected, but its online status isn't shown correctly. Renaming the device usually fixes this and updates its status to online. Finally, give your LED controller a clear name, and once again enable Update Home Assistant Entity ID before saving, so the name propagates across your entire smart home system. For some extra naming wizardry, check out my video, The Perfect Naming Conventions. Simplify your smart home. Click the link in the top right corner now, or find it in the description below. Step 2. ZigBee Settings. Now let's adjust a few settings to keep your smart devices behaving exactly as they should. Go back to the ZigBee 2 MQTT integration and open the Smart Switch module you added just a moment ago. In the About tab, add a description. This is optional, but future you will thank you. In the Expose tab, adjust the Power On behavior setting. Then, in the Settings Specific tab, set State Action to True. This makes sure Home Assistant knows whether the switch is on or off. A small detail, but very important. That's it for the first device. Now let's configure the LED controller. Find your new LED controller and select it. Add a description in the About tab. In the Expose tab, set Power On behavior to On. Since the Smart Switch module handles powering the system, the LED controller itself should stay on. Finally, in the Settings Specific tab, set State Action to True so Home Assistant correctly tracks the on-off state. Step 3. Locations and Labels. In Home Assistant, open Settings and go to Devices and Services. Under the Devices tab, locate your newly paired switch module and select it. Use the pencil icon in the top right corner to enter edit mode. Assign the device to a room and add any helpful labels. Save your changes when done. Next, set up the LED controller in the same way. Now everything is neat, organized, and ready to go. Chapter 10. Dashboard. As you may already know, I'm mostly using mushroom cards, and here I'll use them as well. If you'd like to try mushroom cards too and need help, check out my video, Mushroom Template Card, the not-so-complete guide to Home Assistant dashboards. You can click the link in the top right corner now, or find it later in the description below. Make sure your LEDs are on so the LED controller is available in Home Assistant. This will make your dashboard setup easier. Go to your dashboard and select the view you'd like to use. Click the pencil icon in the top right corner to enter edit mode. Press the large Add Card button. Add Smart Switch to the dashboard. I'm using a regular Entities card here. Give it a name and tweak the settings to suit your needs. Next, add the LED controller. This time, I'm going with my favorite mushroom light card. Again, name your card and adjust the settings as needed. Open the Visibility tab and add a condition. I want the control to be visible only when the LEDs are on, so I'm going to add my Smart Switch module entity and set the rule as follows. State is equal to on. Press Save. Then click Done in the top right corner to exit edit mode. Now, the floor LEDs configuration should disappear whenever the LED switch is turned off. Check it to make sure it works. Chapter 11. The Trade-off. There's just one small quirk with my setup. It's not a problem for me, but it could be a deal breaker for some of you. When the power on behavior of the LED controller is set to on, the LEDs light up instantly as soon as the switch module is activated. The catch is that the LED controller itself takes a little time to reconnect to the ZigBee network. Until it does, you won't be able to adjust any of the LED settings. I tested several different controllers, and the results were similar. On average, it took about a minute before the controller became fully available. Personally, I'd rather wait that minute and save energy by keeping the power supply off when not in use than leave it running 24/7 just for instant control. Chapter 12. The Trade-off Update. Good news! While I was recording this video, a new firmware update dropped for my Glodopto LED controller, and it looks like it completely solved the issue. That said, keep in mind that with this type of setup, you might still experience a short delay, around the first minute after powering it on, before you can control your LED lights. Chapter 13. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. I'm thrilled you chose to spend your time here, whether you're just starting out with Home Assistant or already a smart home pro. If this video helped you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or share it with someone who might find it useful. Every bit of engagement helps the channel grow and motivates me to keep creating more tutorials, guides, and reviews. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so through Buy Me a Coffee or PayPal. Links are in the description below. Your support truly makes a difference. No matter the amount, every contribution goes right back into improving the content. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay smart, stay connected, and happy lighting!